Tell your old man you'll do some largemouth fishing in another town. You just got too much on your plate to bait and cast a line. You can always put a rain check in his hand till you can't. You can keep putting off forever, swearing that you'll last someday further down the road. You can always put a diamond on her hand till you can't. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can. Sitting in the trunk of that 65, still waiting on you and your granddad to bring it back to life. You can always get around to fixing up that Pontiac till you can't. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can. So take that phone call from your mama.
Where is he?
Just talk away, 'cause you'll never know how bad you wanna.
No, I just...
Cause tomorrow may not show. Say your sorries, your I love yous, 'cause man, you never know. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can. Yeah, if you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, until you can. Till you can. Driving through the night trying to keep my eyes open. The generator's busted and the AC's broken. I'm talking to the Lord, hope he helps us get there safe. And we made it to the show, now we're singing to the crowd. We're playing encore and they're screaming real loud. Try to get home early, but I know that ain't the case. Yeah, it's another hotel room, sleeping on the floor. I'm hurting in the morning from the night before. But I'm coming home, baby, leave the porch light on. Breakfast in the morning from 7 to 9, but we just can't seem to wake up in time. Grab a cup of coffee and we're off to. Now we're running on fumes, no time to my dues, I'm eating, love the road, I'm coming on, baby, leave the porch light on. Yeah, it's another hotel room, sleeping on the floor, I'm hurting in the morning from the night before. Pay my dues, I'm leave the porch light on. They came in thinking top dollar to that old cotton crop. The screen door, and he said, Lord, what you need, boys? And they said, you know, all the others went and cashed out. We got the subdivision all mapped out. It'll sit right here on this land, and you could leave town a rich man. And he said, boys, whatever you're offering, it won't be enough. 'Cause I got a little girl that used to swing bow in her brown hair. She's in the big city, but she still calls home. What's she gonna do if she comes back and we're gone? And over there under that white oak tree, beneath the cross is where my best buddy's buried. Lasted 13 hunting seasons running strong. Keep your money 'cause a man can't leave his dog. And over there's where I got down on one knee. You kinda dirt cheap. One man smiled and he kinda looked away. The other said, before we go, I gotta know one thing. Between the droughts and the floods through all the years, what in the world got you through? How the hell did you get here? And he said, that little girl that used to swing right there, I still see her pink bow in her brown hair, running up after one of them. And every little worry fade. And over there under that white oak tree, beneath the cross where my best buddy's buried, all them hunting seasons freezing in a John boat, me and him double barrel in a two-stroke. And that woman that said yes when I got down on one knee. You can't buy that kind of dirt cheap. No, it ain't something you fall into, it's you hold on to. Just like that little girl used to swing right there. I still see her pink bow and her brown hair. She's in the big city now, but she still calls home. She's coming back next week, and man, it's been too long. And over there under that white oak tree, beside the cross where my best buddy's buried, lays a puppy posted up in the shade. That woman never could turn away astray. I guess that's why she said yes when I got down on one knee. Lord, long as all this is here, why the hell would I ever leave? You can't buy that kind of dirt cheap. got plates for purple gas, about the only break I catch. But I am not the kind of man to blame the dealer on a losing hand.
Have a lone star in my eye. The darker the sky, the brighter it shines. Pump jack checks and baler twine. A ton of grit, or maybe it's spine.
And if I weren't a flatland boy, I'd say I have a hill that I will die upon if the climb don't get me killed. If there were such heights around here for a guy to lay his pride, maybe I'd rest before I died if I weren't a flatland. If I weren't a flatland boy.
I am down, hair straight back. World blurs past, tell me how's that? My horizon line static. I guess at least it's a sure bet.
Was taught to not throw the first fist, but if you take a hit, finish that son of a bitch. In a life, having the upper hand's a myth. Your only fighting chance is too stubborn to quit. And if I weren't a hill that I will die upon if the climb don't get me killed. If there weren't such heights around here for a guy to lay his pride, maybe I'd rest before I died if I weren't
a flatland boy.
If I weren't the flatland boy.
Retired rail ties, .9 wire. Neighbor kid on the fence and pars. Fargo that turns over fine at 40 below if you cuss it right.
A sly thumb where I sometimes keep a bottle hid with the bar on my side. You can know the edge, you can't look ahead, but can't get there. It goes on forever. Oh, it just goes on forever. Keep your head down, it goes on forever. It's for purple gas.
I've got plates for purple gas.
The kids are in town for a funeral, so pack the car and dry your eyes. I know they got plenty of young blood left in them, and plenty nights under pink skies you taught them to enjoy. So clean the house, clear the drawers, mop the floors, stand tall like no one's ever been here before or at all. And don't you mention all the inches that are scraped on the door frame. We all know you tiptoed up to 4-1 back in '08. You'd be proud, though you think days you'll be. Your funeral was beautiful. I bet God heard you coming. The kids are in town for a funeral. He broke your arm swinging on that kid out on the river. You bailed him out, never said a thing about Jesus or the way he's living. If you could see him now, you'd be proud, but you'd think days you'll be. Your funeral was beautiful. I bet God heard you coming. kids are in town for a funeral. So pack the car and dry your eyes. I know they got plenty young blood left in them, and plenty nights under pink skies you taught them to enjoy. And I hope you're dancing in the sky. And I hope you're singing in the
Welcome. Thank you for coming to the celebration of life for Blake Butler. I know it means so much to Shannon, Erica, Sammy, and their entire family. This field, where so many of you have poured your blood, sweat, and tears into Bulldog athletics, was one of Blake's favorite places and why his family has chosen to celebrate his life here today. Blake charmed to Shannon and Erica Butler in Guyman on April 18th, 2008, just over 16 years ago. And man, did he pack a lot of life into those 16 years. My first interaction 5 years, I was able to watch a funny, skinny kid transform into a sports-loving, powerlifting. Blake was a water boy for us before reaching high school. He brought a wonderful attitude and commitment to that role. Blake just loved being a Hooker Bulldog like his father, as he modeled for us the Christian characteristics of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, and faithfulness. Blake was all of these things and more. While this is hard and we already miss him terribly, I know we all take comfort in knowing that we will see him again in heaven someday. Like someone said this week, if Blake Butler doesn't get into heaven, the rest of us don't stand a chance. Blake absolutely loved being a Hooker Bulldog. Blake was a member of so many teams at Hooker, including a state runner-up football team, a state semifinal basketball team, a state championship track team, powerlifting, and a proud member of the baseball team. What an incredible freshman year. The greatest year in the history of Hooker High School athletics. A very specific memory came to me as I was thinking about Blake over the last several days. As a freshman, it can be very difficult to get on the grass, especially for a team as talented as what we had this last year. Blake wanted to play so bad. You could see how hard he practiced, worked in the weight room, excelled in the classroom. He wanted to be on the field. He earned the right to be on several of our special teams. Most importantly, our gunner on punt team. This is a critical role. It has to be given to somebody you trust very much. If the return man gets outside of him, they score. There is no one else. Well, as fate would have it, with 15 seconds left in the state semifinal games, we're punting to one of the best athletes in the state, clinging to a 3-point lead. As we came out of the timeout, I told Blake, you understand what happens if he gets outside you, right? Which, if you played for me, it was probably a more firm conversation than that. He's looked at me and said, he won't get outside me, I got you. He grinned and headed out. He blew by his blocker and sealed his side, because that's what expected of Blake. And Blake always did what was expected. When Blake wasn't wearing blue and white, you could find him in purple playing for the Horny Toads, always wearing number 2, or playing for the Sox. Before that, he was a constant presence at the Little League field or flag football field right here where we are today. No matter his age, the sport, or what number was on his back, it's safe to say that Blake could. You know, this week we were talking with J.J. Palacios, and the story that just kept coming up was Blake was on the mound here not too long ago, and J.J.'s giving him all the signals to pitch. Now, I'm not a baseball guy, so that might as well be hieroglyphics to me, watching them go through all of their stuff, especially as fast as J.J. talks. Well, J.J. calls for a fastball. He looks inside and just watches the ball fall off the. What are we doing? And moving his hands around, he said, well, you're signaling all of them. He said, I just can't signal you one, Blake. They'll know all the pitches halfway through the first inning. Blake missed the signal, so he felt he just picked the one he liked the most. You could not outwork Blake Butler. Blake never missed a day of summer pride. When I say he never missed a day, I'm not throwing that out casually. I mean he never missed a day. Period. He was never late. He was all in all the time. Even before workouts at school, Blake would get up at 6 a.m. Wanted to transform his body into the best possible version of itself, but I think he enjoyed his time with Eric even more. When Blake wasn't on an athletic field or gym, you could find him hunting, fishing, playing golf, gaming with his buddies, hanging with his friends, or spending time with his huge, loving, tight-knit family. 4 a.m. to bundle up and meet his cousins and sister to hunt deer, or to be the first ones on the water in hopes of catching Mr. Big. Having Blake in class, I can tell you that he was a very intelligent young man. I believe that an academic scholarship may have very well been in his future, but Blake was starting to have some other ideas. Blake was thinking about joining a college where he could join the fishing team. Now, I didn't know that was a thing, or my life may have taken out of the game. Apparently, he had already started negotiating with Shannon for a boat. The Butler men certainly know how to negotiate, and apparently Blake was no different. It's 2 days when you like a boat. The day you buy it and the day you sell it. Unless you're Blake and you don't buy it. Talking about Blake with his family, the word that was used over and over again was love. In fact, you probably even saw people posting LLB in the social media celebrations of Blake this week. LLB stands for Love Like Blake. Blake loved playing sports. He loved being a bulldog. He loved his truck. He loved handing out big hugs and playing jokes on people. And he loved his friends and his teammates. He also loved working on the Barnes farm with Greg, Leah, and the girls. And Greg and Leah loved him like their own. Blake had a standing invite for dinner, and Greg took him along on fishing trips every chance he got, even when Blake came home swearing that he had outfished him. And it was there on the farm that he found the love of his life, his forever girl, in Taylor. Whether it was Sunday fun day or just building fence, those two were always together and brought out the very best in each other. And man, oh man, did Blake love his family. Especially his baby sister, Sammy Sue. Big Brother, otherwise known as Bubby, was undoubtedly Blake's favorite title. And it was a role he took seriously. He and Sammy were inseparable from the start, more than siblings. They were best friends. From Christmas morning to long road trips to their special drives to church, they shared a lot of special moments together. Blake was always the voice in her ear, whether it was a word of encouragement, talking her down from a tense moment, or just whispering an inside joke between the two of them that had instantly had them both giggling. He was always there to help put on her catcher's gear and even broke in her new glove right before the game, just so he knew it was done right and she was ready. Big or small, Blake was there for Sammy. And I know he'll be looking to a lot of you boys to help watch over her. Great comfort in the fact that Blake has always known how much he was loved and that he never held back in making sure like Erica said, he was easy to raise, he was easy to be around, he was easy to love. Shannon agreed, adding how proud he is of Blake. Blake loved big, and I know we all loved him back just as big. For the last several years, our team motto in football has been last play. The reasoning behind that is so simple, yet so profound. Every play you get should be like it is the last play you will ever play. You never know when your last play is coming. Blake embodied our last play mentality as well as I have ever had. I encourage all of you to live your last play every day in honor of Blake. At this time, the family would like to play the Hooker Bulldog Fight song. If everybody will stand. Thank you all once again for being here today. The family is going to take some time here together with themselves prior to the graveside service. But we'd like to invite all of you to join us at the Hooker Cemetery, and you can meet with the family there. Thank you.